Call the meeting to order. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, all members are present. Approval of the agenda. We have 7G and 7H are removed, and 6B will be an addition, Public Works Department report, and 7L, approved resolution 2020-59 will be added. Is there any other changes? No. Council? No. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda with those changes?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Joe, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Heidi. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Approval of the minutes of the July 1st, 2020 regular meeting. All received them in your packet. Is there any changes, corrections, or clarification needed? Hearing nothing, do we have a motion to approve the minutes of the July 1, 2020 regular meeting?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Diane, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Heidi. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. This now brings us to our public open forum. Is there anyone here that would like to speak to the council? Is there anyone here that would like to speak to the council? Is there anyone here that would like to speak to the council? Okay, our public open forum is now closed. We have no public hearings. We will then move into reports and presentations. Police Department monthly report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Activity report for June 2020. Some of the numbers we had 16 alarm calls. We had 10 motorist assist. We did 23 assists for persons. We did 78 assists for businesses. We had 31 citizen contact calls. We had 14 dog complaints. 12 citations were given for driving after revocation or driving on a canceled license. 29 matter of information calls. We did 14 medicals. We had 8 traffic accidents. Walmart, we patrolled 106 times. Suspicious persons, or suspicious calls, we had 18 of them. We had 6 thefts. We had 11 welfare checks, 7 verbal disputes. We gave out 187 verbal warnings on traffic stops. So we had total calls of 606, verbal warnings of 187 for a total of 793 for the month. Compare that to last month, and it's just up a little bit. And then compare it to 2019, and it's pretty even. So, yeah. Otherwise, we're gearing up for the fireworks and the street dance. There was discussion we talked about. I was thinking in my head about maybe blocking off Oak Street, maybe a section of that yet for the dance, just to maybe space out the crowd a little bit, because they were going to have a couple vendors. I was thinking maybe I talked to Eric at the next door bar there, who's kind of organizing it, and we had discussed it, and so that's probably an option, or I don't know if we could. Just putting it out there to maybe open that street up a little bit too, just to disperse the crowd a little bit.
Where were you planning on closing Oak Street at, or whatever?
It'd be right here. We'd send traffic our way towards the city hall here.
Okay, so going down toward the park would be the one that you were thinking about closing it up?
Probably go down, to the alleyway,
Okay,
about as far as the alley maybe.
okay. Yeah, I have no idea how many people are gonna show up.
That's just it, I don't
you know.
know what to,
Last weekend, I know Little Sauk had theirs and it was packed. So,
yeah.
but difference in bands too.
Right.
But,
Yeah, so I've been in contact with Eric and they seem like we have enough fence and stuff. And, so either way, but I don't know if more discussion we'll need on it but that option's out there maybe.
okay.
Otherwise, I have nothing else.
Yeah,
Council have any questions?
a lot of people without licenses trying to drive. I'm glad you're getting them. Thank you.
Yeah, there's been a lot.
I just got one question, not to put you on the spot, but last month when Joe went and did the report, he said you increased patrol basically on use of wireless devices, and we had 21 of them.
Yep.
And now we're back down to 5. Did the people all of a sudden learn that quick, or did we kind
I
of
think it
back
happened
off
that
on
we
it?
probably gave a lot of verbal warnings, but
Okay.
they're still out there, same
Yeah,
numbers. but,
okay.
yeah.
It was just kind of
We're
like.
just being nicer this month, that month.
Okay.
So, but no, we're still definitely working on it.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep.
Thanks, Brian.
Yep.
6B, Public Works Department. Ben? I seen Sarah sneak into the mic.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Some of the things we've been up to last month. Crosswalk painting is now completed. We started curb painting, that was completed, and we're going to start on parking lots next. We're also going to be putting some lines down at the boat landing area just to help with the beach parking and then boat trailer parking, just to give people some guidance. So I think that'll be helpful. Crack filling and seal coating is now completed on the roads that we had contracted for. I think that turned out very well. They did a good job on that. Spraying weeds along curb lines has started, so those should start to turn yellow and go away soon enough here. Catch basins were cleaned during and after the recent rain events. No major issues there, just the viaduct kind of got a little flooded there, but we had a lot of rain in a short amount of time, and we kind of expect that in that area, but there was no other areas that had any significant flooding, so that was good. Asphalt patches were completed on Getty, Cass, and Willow Street where the sewer repairs were made. I'm still waiting to hear when Railroad's going to be fixed, so I don't have a date yet on that, but those 2 spots on Railroad Avenue still need to get repaired. Storm sewer outlet cleaning continued, and we're about done with that list. Just a few little items to wrap up there. Been blading the gravel roads, and we installed some new street signs in the Getty Railroad Avenue area, and then we also put in a new sign for the Pangburn Lane where those twin homes were put up. 2 alleyways by Holy Family School. We added some more Class 5 to them and had them bladed and packed, and my goal is to kind of pick areas of the city every year and build up the gravels, whether it's a road or the alleyway, get it built back up to where it needs to be and then maintain it from there. So I don't want to get slammed with everything needs a bunch of Class 5 at once, so we're just going to kind of pick and choose and stay on top of it that way. We planted 45 trees this year throughout the city between parks, campground, and boulevards. They are getting watered twice weekly unless we receive a large amount of rain, then we don't have to water, but that's all getting tracked and documented because we turn it into the DNR for that EAB grant that we received. The splash pad, all the parts that we were waiting for have been received and everything is operational. The pumps are going to need to be rebuilt probably this year yet. They've kind of seen their useful life cycles about 5 years before they need to be rebuilt, so I'm getting pricing on that. Just some of the water features aren't spraying out like they used to because the pumps are a little bit weak, but everything is working. Mowing and trimming has been ongoing with the crews. I think they're doing a great job maintaining the parks. And the trail east of town by East River Boulevard, it had 2 culverts, kind of like a walking trail that was gravel. They were washing away during the heavy rain events, so it was exposing like half the culvert, kind of a trip hazard and stuff. We ended up taking those out of there and we put in a wood bridge which allows the water to flow underneath, and we've had no erosion issues since then. We had that big 2-inch rainfall and everything looks good, so that problem has been corrected over there. So, any questions I can answer for you?
Council have any questions? Have you heard anything from MnDOT? I'm still getting people complaining about those manhole covers on Highway 71 when you're going north.
I know that they
As
had
for how deep they are.
They had contacted the PUC about wanting to put tar on top of them. And the PUC wasn't interested in that at the time because they had to do a bunch of sewer cleaning there. So I can circle back and see if the PUC would be okay with that at this point, and then MinDOT can go ahead and get those covered up. So that's kind of where it was left off last year.
Okay, yeah, if you could circle back on
Okay.
that one. And
Yep.
see what we can do about that.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Planning Commission report?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Last evening, we did hold the Planning Commission meeting, and we did have a public hearing, and that approval was pending a updated, corrected, and legal descriptions corrected on a survey, and we haven't received that yet, so that was taken off the agenda as an action item. So other than that, I have my monthly building permit report for the month of June, and then I think you have the quarterly report. So as of June, the end of June this year, we've done $4.6 million worth of new construction. And last year, at the end of June, we did 1.7, and at end of December last year, we did 4.5. So it's been a really busy spring.
Questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
City Engineer report. Keith?
All right, good evening, Mayor and Council. In your packet, there's an example of the newsletter that's gone out to residents on the 2020 projects. You can just see what everyone's receiving. It gives a little update on what's going on. For a little more information for you, the South project, the sanitary sewer, the water main is in. They're working on the services now. Those should be completed by like Wednesday of next week. The removals on the north part of the project, the removals have just been completed, so they're buttoning that up. They'll be then moving utility work to the north end. End of next week will be temporary water main, and then start actual installation of new sewer and water the week after. The one thing I want to make you aware of, and we will be talking to residents up there, is there's high water table on the Lake Street portion, so there will be dewatering going on, which includes generators that will be running 24 hours a day. So we'll be notifying folks to be aware of that. That's probably going to take 2 to 3 weeks worth of time that those will be running. So just be, expecting in case there's any calls that you get, that will be it'll be from the essentially not next week, but the following week for 2 or 3 weeks essentially. So that's the big news there. That should be done by the middle of August, the utilities up there, and then we'll do the streets in that section. Expect everything to be buttoned up by towards the end of September. As soon as the utilities are done down here and they move up, then they'll start on the street on the south portion of the project. So that's all I have for tonight. Any questions?
Questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Action items. Oh, airport board. I'm sorry, Vicki. You got that. You got both anyway.
Okay, the airport board met today in regular session at 1 p.m. We did have the report from Ben regarding all the airport-related activities that the maintenance has been going on. They also set the public hearing for the JAZB public hearing, which is the Joint Airport Zoning Board. Our airport zoning ordinance was put on hold because we couldn't have a public hearing for a period of time. That has now been scheduled for August 19th at 5 o'clock p.m. here at City Hall. So that will be the Joint Airport Zoning Board includes 2 members from the Airport Board, 2 members from Stearns County, and 2 members from Sauk Center Township. And then it's a public meeting, so anybody can come and attend that, and we'll be presenting the updates to that. Then when that's done, then that gets sent to MinDOT so they can certify it, then it comes back for adoption. So it's kind of the process, but now we're hoping to get that wrapped up. That was a grant that's kind of been sitting there in limbo for a few months, and we want to wrap it up. So. And then the other things that we talked about was that we recommend the City Council approve the advertisement for quotes for the hangar door replacement. This is with CARES Act funding that the airport received, and that is an action item you have later tonight. And then also they're discussing moving forward with CIPs in future years, and we added like crack filling and seal coating around the T-hangars. The 2000 T-hanger, that's 20 years old now, and so we need to do some work on there. It's getting pretty tired, the asphalt itself. So that's something that'll be coming up future, probably in 2021 we'll be talking about that. So nothing else other than the action item later this evening.
Questions on that? Okay. Now action items. Approve annual pension increase, Sauk Center Fire Department Relief Association.
I have seen the attached request, but I see it didn't get in there. But anyway, the Sauk Center Fire Relief Retirement Benefit increases $100 every year. The current benefit per year of service is $2,200. The increased benefit will be $2,300. The assets of the association exceed the total benefit liabilities with no additional contributions required. The increase requires an amendment to the bylaws for the Relief Association and acknowledgement by the City Council. So that's what here for tonight. The Relief Association is asking for our acknowledgement to approve the benefit increase for the Sauk Center Fire Department Relief Association to $2,300 effective January 1st, 2021.
Questions, comments? We've done this before, so. Do I have a motion to approve the benefit increase for the Sauk Center Fire Department?
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion by Heidi, second by Diane. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Aye.
Motion carries 4 in favor, none against, 1 abstention. 7B, approve City of Sauk Center CARES Act Small Business Grant Program.
So the City of Sauk Center is going to be receiving funding from the Coronavirus Relief Act, which is CARES. Now, the airport had previously received funding, and so had the ambulance department. This is the city itself. The funding can be used to reimburse us for COVID-related costs. After that reimbursement, the city can create a program to grant the funding to local businesses to the extent they have been impacted by the shutdown. We've been working with Stearns County and other cities in the county to develop a program with similar requirements. I thought that I'd have the whole policy tonight. I actually got the email just before I came to the meeting, like 5 minutes before I came to the meeting, so I'll go over that with you. I did have some expected criteria. They're a little bit different. We want to be the same as Stearns County. So what this is the program is targeted at businesses in Stearns County with less than 50 employees. They're recommending a reimbursement of eligible expenses related to business interruption anywhere between $500 to $7,500 per business. We're going to have a 4-week application window, and then we'll prioritize the applications received to ensure all those eligible are served. The Stearns County HRA is going to take care of Stearns County, and individual cities will administer it within our cities based on the county's criteria. If we decide to administer our own, which is our recommendation, then the county will match up to 25%. So if we put $325,000 in, they'll do another $100,000 or $82,000 approximately. So we'll go up to about $405,000 that we will be able to grant out to small businesses. Eligible businesses would be, like I said, 50 or less employees located in the county. The business license, if they have one, must be in good standing. The property taxes must be paid through current. They must be able to demonstrate they were directly and adversely affected by COVID-19 related peacetime emergency. And businesses cannot receive funds from multiple sources for the same expenses. So I did talk about the county would allocate 25% of theirs if we administer our own. Ineligible businesses are corporate chains or multi-state chain businesses, businesses that primarily sell pawned merchandise, guns, tobacco, or vaping, businesses that primarily generate revenue from gambling or adult-oriented activities, businesses that derive income from past investments, business-to-business transactions, property rentals or property management, billboard or lobbying. So the county has kind of exempted some businesses so they can really focus on the small businesses. So that's the criteria that their board approved last night in general. And so by Friday, they're going to have the actual policy out to us. So what I think I'm looking for tonight from the council, if you're in agreement with these general terms to allow us to just continue to develop this policy, we don't meet again for 3 weeks. So if the policy comes back with these same criteria and you're okay with those criteria, I would like to just move forward. If they come up with something radically different, then I would like to call a special meeting because I think we need to get this turned around as quickly as we can. So I guess I'd like to open it up for discussion. If you have any additional things that you would like to be included in that, their policy isn't final yet, so I have the opportunity to get some input into that and say, here's some additional things to consider.
Questions?
I think the one thing that was missing, but you touched on, was the not to use multiple sources of funding. But if they have, let's say, been able to secure a loan through the SBA and not a grant, does that mean the same thing under this?
So what, when I talked to them before, they said, well, if they got an SBA loan that was qualified, that we could give them this grant that they could pay off that loan.
Okay.
So basically convert that to a loan, or
Okay.
to a grant.
So it's kind of what PPP is doing for the same,
Right.
same thing. Oops.
Right.
Okay.
So they don't want the same expense to qualify more than time, but we can take the grant
And apply
to
it.
eliminate a loan that was a qualified loan.
Okay.
Any other questions? I just one, and I talked to Vicky about this earlier, but who were we planning on going through the applicants? The ones that do, who's gonna be in charge?
That's the one thing that, once they're putting together the application and the criteria and the procedure, and then we'll look at that, and it's quite possible I'll have to have maybe the EDA go through that with us or something. I think we have quite a few people in the city that we can put together a committee to look at them. So there'll be an application window, so it'll be like, we're not gonna award any money till we close it, so that we might have to, we might be able to give more money to some than we originally thought, or maybe we have to go a percentage less depending on the number of applicants we get, so. It might be an all-day review,
Right,
but we
okay.
can put that together.
So it'll be basically a work in progress.
It is until the county finalizes, if they want us all to have kind of the same criteria, until their team is done with it. You know, we're kind of waiting.
Right. Okay. Any other questions? Do I have a motion to approve the CARES Act grant program for the city of Sauk Center?
So moved.
We have a motion by Keith. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Heidi. Any other last minute questions? Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Approve request for applicants to attend EMT course.
Sauk Center Ambulance Department Director Kathy Strufert is requesting the city authorize her to advertise for candidates to attend the EMT course scheduled to begin in August. Attendees will be eligible to be considered for appointment to the department upon successful completion. And they're hoping to have 2 to 4 candidates to send to the class. So it begins mid to late August, and it'll run through the middle of December. So once we get the candidates in the class, we'll advertise for them, then we'll approve sending them at probably the next meeting, hopefully. And then we won't see anything then till about January, till they pass the class. So we're looking to approve the advertisement for candidates.
Do I have a motion to approve the advertisement for candidates?
I'll make a motion to approve.
A motion by Diane, with a second.
I'll second.
Second by Heidi. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7D, approve easement for 2020 street project.
The final easement needed for the reconstruction of Elm Street North has been obtained from Edward Bosel, and we have signed that. The total amount of the easement is $1,575. So we need to authorize that execution and the distribution of funds, and that funds is in your claims list tonight as well. And this will be the final one, and the reason it lagged behind the others was because the property was for sale, and they had a closing pending, and now this is the new buyer. So he's getting the check.
Okay, questions? Do I have a motion to authorize the execution of the easement and distribution of funds?
Motion. Well, go ahead, Joe.
Motion by Heidi, second by Joel.
Okay.
Took them the way I heard them. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7E, approve pay request number 1, 2020 street project.
This is pay request 1, and this is for the 2020 project. We had the total contract amount of $954,481.34. The amount due tonight is $51,329.41. So we're looking to approve pay request number 1 for $51,329.41 to Breitbach Construction Company.
Questions? Do I have a motion to approve pay request number 1?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Joe. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Diane. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7F, approve resolution 2020-53, calling for public hearing for easement vacation.
Matt Wessel is the owner of an outlot in the East River Heights plat. The lot is adjacent to his primary home. A storm pond exists on the property, and the entire boundary of the property is encumbered by a utility easement for the pond. The request is to consider releasing a portion of the lot from the easement. Prior to considering the proposal, the council must hold a public hearing to obtain comment. And so I did include it in your packet with an aerial view. You can see the pond on kind of to the middle to the west side. His proposal is to have a piece up in the northeast corner be released from the storm easement. And if the council decides to call a public hearing, then based on a topo map, we will determine what's the best part of it to be released from the easement. And we've done this in the past where an entire lot is under a stormwater easement in a plat. We've been able to do that. So we're looking tonight is just to approve resolution 2020-53, calling for the public hearing on easement vacation.
Questions, concerns? Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2020-53?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Diane, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Heidi. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7I, approved date for opening of senior center.
So the senior center has been closed since March 13th. We've been asked multiple times when it'll be allowed to reopen. The CDC and the Department of Health lump senior centers into community centers for guidance, but we've been more conservative in that, opening it. We're aligned more closely with senior living facilities. Governor Walz has issued the orders that allows for indoor gatherings and a new number. We thought he would have a new number that he might up or down it, but based on what it is right now at 50% occupancy, we did some measuring up there and figure that we can do an occupancy and maintain 6 foot of separation of about 25 people in that room. And so I don't know if you want to go ahead and approve it at that occupancy, if we want to wait for more guidance from the governor, but we can legally open it at this point. And so I brought that before the council because of the requests that we're getting from actually members of the senior community that are wanting to get back in there.
Okay. Comments, concerns? I honestly think we could reopen it 50%, you know.
I agree.
They need to get back to a normal, and if
Yep.
they're nervous about anything, obviously they won't come in there, or, so, that's my opinion. I don't know what the rest of you think.
I agree.
This motion tonight, if it passes tomorrow morning, they could open up, or what does this mean for a date-wise?
Oh, we could open it right away, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think with the guidance being 50% capacity and everything, I'd be in favor of.
Okay. General consensus, or you want to go for a vote? Keith?
At their discretion, I guess we should probably do a vote on it.
Okay. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the opening of the senior center?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
There you go.
Okay. We got a motion by Diane and a Keith by, or a second by Keith. Yeah, Keith by second. Any other discussion? Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7J, approve resolution 2020-56, approving installation of traffic control sign.
Owners of property on 6th Street Southeast have requested the city install a dead end or no outlet sign at the intersection of 6th Street South and 6th Street Southeast to inform motorists that the street is not a throughway. Motorists find themselves turning around in driveways because there's no cul-de-sac or turnaround. And that is that street that kind of goes back to the tennis courts at the school, if you know which one I'm talking about. It goes back, there's a couple apartments, some houses, and then it just ends. And so we're looking for resolution 2020-56, approving installation of sign. And if you've seen that, we have a couple of them around town. They're just smaller, no outlet signs. They go right on the street sign or the stop sign. So we don't have to put extra signs in the ground, so.
Questions, concerns?
Did you say this is the one that ends up at the tennis courts?
Yeah.
Okay.
There is a small turnaround
I
down
mean,
there,
yeah.
because I know when they have tennis matches, there's buses that get down there.
It's a turnaround on private property. It's not like a real turnaround.
Okay,
Oh,
it's on the school
yeah.
property.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the council's wishes? To, someone want to make a motion to approve resolution 2020-56?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Keith, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Diane. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7K, approve resolution 2020-57 requesting speed study.
In November of last year of 2019, a resident of East River Circle requested that the city conduct a speed study on East River Circle. At that time, you denied it because of the timing with the winter. He is now again requesting that it be done this summer. He believes the traffic is moving much faster than the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit and feels that it should be lower. So I have resolution 2020-57 requesting a speed study. If you pass this, this gets forwarded on to the state, and they make the decision whether they want to conduct the study or not. But that's the resolution, a request of the resident.
Just one resident, or?
Yeah.
Didn't we
guess
have
my-
a, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I guess my question would be for Brian. Have you noticed, or your officers noticed any? Okay.
I thought we had a list of about 15 people in that area ask for it last year.
Well, this is just one that came back now this year,
Okay.
asking for it.
Okay.
It doesn't mean the state would do it. They might look
Right.
at it and deny it. I don't know.
Right. And one of those things, looking at that road, when it's basically a curve, and anytime you're driving a curve, it always looks like they're going faster than what they should.
Well, that's
So
what
it
I'm
might
thinking.
even be at 20 miles an hour, may look a lot faster, but is there any cost?
There's no cost to us.
No cost. So I guess if it's not gonna cost us anything, we can do it, but that doesn't mean the state's gonna do it anyway. They let them be the bad guys and say no instead.
I feel better if more of the people wanted it. Just one, that's,
Yeah,
Yeah.
more than
Yeah.
just one would make a difference too, but.
yep.
Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2020-57 requesting the speed study?
So moved.
Motion by Keith, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Joe. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Here.
abstentions? Motion carries 5 in favor.
No,
No.
I'm against.
You're against?
Yeah.
Okay, 4 in favor, 1 against.
Speeding, huh?
Yeah.
7L, approve resolution 2020-59 authorizing bids for hangar door replacement.
The airport board met and discussed the replacement of the hangar door on the box hangar that is on lease to Central Plains. I had in here that the old door requires multiple repairs and improvements, but since the staff report was done, more damage was done to the door and it is no longer repairable. There was some bending of some beams. The board recommends the door be completely replaced with a hull hydraulic lift door, which is a freestanding door not requiring the structure support as the prior door did. The estimated cost of the door with installation improvements is $25,000. The repair is eligible for reimbursement through the Airport CARES Act allocation. So what we're looking for tonight is to approve Resolution 2020-59 authorizing the advertisement for quotes for this hangar door replacement.
Questions, concerns? Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2020-59?
So moved.
I have a motion by Heidi, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Keith. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. We have no unfinished business, we have no new business. Brings us to the consent agenda. Schedule of claims, unpaid claims of $238,909.38. Paid claims of $1,100 for a total of $240,009.38. We have June checks, paid claims / payroll of $350,694.67. We have resolution number 2020-58 accepting contributions of picnic tables by the beach for an amount of $1,600.17 from the Big Sauk Lake Association to be allocated to the Park Department, and $25 from the family of Rosie Spanier to be allocated to the Fire Department. And on behalf of the city, I want to thank those people for those contributions. Is there any questions about the consent calendar? Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Diane, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Joe. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Informational items.
So the informational items, I got a retraction from the state demographer. Hopefully have an updated number at the next council meeting, so we'll just wait for that. But I would like to circle back a little bit to what Chief Frederick said about the possibility of closing Oak Street for the street dance. And I think it might be a good idea for the council to authorize us to do that if we find that it's necessary, so we don't have to call you back here to do that. It would be just from the intersection, go south to the alley on Oak Street, just to allow a little more spacing for the attendees. And then the detour, rather than going down to 2nd Street and out, it would go down to 4th Street and out. So I think it might be a good idea just to let us have that in our toolkit here as we have the street dance go on, and just give us this opportunity to close that road.
Okay. Questions or ideas?
The thought would be then to just have like the spot in front of the corner bar to access that area?
Yeah, we could have it come out a ways, because traffic would, traffic can make the corner turn, but still pull it out into the road a little bit, just so there's room to get through there.
Because historically, the stage has always been set up with the back of the stage
Yeah.
down that street. Is that still the plan?
I think,
Yeah, stage is still gonna be in the same spot, so, yeah, that was the only bad part about trying to go off on the open. I just thought for bathrooms maybe, or, but, I mean, it's just throwing it out there.
I think if we can come, if they can come up with a design to do it where we don't have to worry about people getting too far out of the way, so it turns into a public drinking type thing and outside a fence, because basically if you go down that other street, you're gonna have the parking lot there.
Right.
And unless they want to fence that whole area to keep people inside, I'm not certain how that'll all work. But if they come up with a plan, I definitely would.
And we can't-
think it works.
We can't guarantee, though, that there would be a designated officer in that area the whole night. I mean, you guys are going to be patrolling throughout.
We're gonna be, we have several officers.
But like in that corner?
Well,
Yeah.
maybe look around.
Right. I think if the police department and the bars can come up with a plan that they
Yeah,
think it can work,
Yeah.
I'm open to it.
Me too.
I agree.
yeah.
Yep.
So, is that what you're looking for, Vicki?
yeah, it is. I just want to be able to have the option to do it.
Right.
If they get together and if Public Works has extra fencing, and if Brian and Eric and everybody get together and say, yeah, this is a good idea, we want to just be able to implement it
Right.
at that point.
One of the ideas is they could set the stage at a 45-degree angle across the intersection, but then that might not give enough clearance to make the turn to come this direction. So that's
And it might not come to, we just want to be able to
Right.
have the opportunity to do it.
right. So, okay. Is there anything else on that? Okay. That brings us to the end of our agenda. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Diane. Do I have a second?
I'll second this.
Second by Keith. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Meeting adjourned.